This week, I'm once again reviewing a rather expensive network player to satisfy my curiosity about the possibilities of digital audio. The Rockna Wavedream Reference, in their signature version, is their flagship network player with support for many streaming protocols, including Spotify and Room. It is a true high-end player, and not just in terms of price. Expectations are high, so let's first see where it fits into a stereo system. The Wavedream, as I call the Wavedream Reference Signature from now on, is a network player and therefore needs to be connected to your modem/router via a network cable. Wi-Fi is not supported. The radio frequency can only disrupt the audio. It accesses the internet via the modem/router and therefore streaming services and internet radio stations. If you have music on your computer or NAS, you can also play that. The analog outputs should be connected to the analog inputs on the amplifier, which in turn should be connected to a pair of loudspeakers or headphones. A smartphone or tablet should be used to control the music server program on the computer. For example, a UPnP server, Roon, Apple Music or something similar. Alternatively, an app on your smart device, such as Qobuz Connect, can send music directly to the Wavedream. If you still use CDs, the CD player can be connected to one of the digital inputs. You can connect other digital audio sources in the same way. The Wavedream is available in black and bare metal and has a very robust metal housing. It measures 450 by 390 by 105 mm, 17.7 by 15.5 by 4.1 inches and weighs 10 kilos, 22 pounds. The front panel has no physical controls except for the touchscreen. Here we find the standby function, device info, the menu and the volume control. In the center of the display we see the active streaming protocol, the input and the active streaming sample rate. On the back we see the IEC power connector on the left and the digital inputs in the center. Optical via Toslink, SPDIF via RCA, AES-EBU on XLR, the network connector, I2S via HDMI and USB audio class 2 via USB-B. The left and right unbalanced analog outputs via RCA are located here, along with the balanced analog outputs via XLR. Behind the front panel are two transformers and the display electronics. A solid copper sub-enclosure provides excellent shielding. The transformer for the digital circuits feeds two groups of rectifiers and regulators, one for the control electronics and one for the digital audio circuits. The latter is divided into left and right linear low-noise pre-regulators. For each channel, this power line is further divided into a high-precision low-noise voltage regulator for the processors and 3.3 and 5 volts to power the DAC modules. The second transformer output is divided into power for the left and right channels. Each uses a 3-stage regulator circuit that feeds the analog output circuits. Here we see the power supplies for the digital circuits with the digital electronics behind them. The power supplies for the DACs are located here with the 4-ladder DAC modules behind them. For each channel, one module handles the positive signal and one the negative signal. An FPGA processes this with very high precision. The output stages are located on the back of the board and uses a combination of JFET and bipolar devices in Class A mode. As with most DACs, using is quite simple. Connect the analog outputs to the amp, connect the source or sources as described in Where to Use, connect the power cord and select the input you want to use, like LAN. Then use the smartphone or tablet to For instance, select Music in Rune and start it. The display will show the metadata of that track and the music will play if your amplifier is switched on and set to the input used. Using the QR code in the manual, you can download the app for Android and iOS. The opening screen displays what's playing while streaming. Here you can adjust the volume and pause or change the input. After selecting LAN, you can select which streaming protocol to use. The options are displayed here. In the settings menu, you can set the oversampling mode or select no oversampling. For DSD, you can set wideband or narrowband filtering. Only choose narrowband if your amplifier doesn't like the high frequency noise that DSD contains. Inverting the output phase might sound better on your stereo, just try it. PLL tracking should be set to slow if you're using a very good digital source on the digital inputs, and to continuous if you're using a source with a poor clock. Output dithering improves the smoothing of the digital signal and should be enabled, but try it for yourself. The I2S port communication should perhaps be set by your dealer to match the I2S output of the source. This is the settings screen. And there are 3 display settings. The info screen shows the serial number, firmware version and the IP address assigned to the Wavedream by your network. Here you can also check for updates and set the display themes. The Wavedream was connected to the Zixel GS1900-10 HP switch via an EA Bridge EAL2000 Ethernet filter. The Zixel T56 modem/router was also connected to the Zixel switch, which was in turn connected to the 1 gigabit ODiDo fiber optic internet connection via a Nokia media converter. The small green computer Sonic Transporter i7 CDR was connected to the Zixel switch via a patch cable and was running Rune server, Minim server and Olivana core server. The Wavedream was connected to the Air Acoustics AX520 amplifier via a pair of Grim Audio SQM XLR cables. The PMC FAC12 signature speakers on Stack Audio OVA 70 isolators were connected via AudioQuest Robinhood Zero speaker cable. The PSI AVAA C214 digital active bass trap corrected acoustics. The iPad Pro 2 was used to control the music server software on the Sonic Transporter. You might expect the easy-to-the-ear rounded sound of a ladder converter, lacking ultimate resolution. Not with the Wavedream. It's easy to the ear alright, but with the ultimate resolution of the best DACs I have heard. It became clear from the first track I played during setup. It sounds so natural, analog if you like. You can make small changes to the sound by changing the upsampling or bypass it altogether. But it remains a top-class DAC. I rate it on top of my reference set 1A. Although you can use it connected directly to a power amp, I would go for a preamp or integrated amp. In using the Wavedream, it feels more natural that way. I also like to mention that where in some DACs, like the Tambaki, the streaming function is an afterthought, the streamer in the Wavedream is of very high quality. It's a lot of money. MSRP in my country is €26,260 including VAT, but it rates top of my reference 1A. And on that bombshell, we come to the end of this review. Don't forget to subscribe or follow me on Patreon, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram or TikTok. Patreon and YouTube Premium members get early access and no ads. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it. It really helps. A huge thank you to everyone who supports the channel financially. It keeps me independent and that means a lot. Even €1, pound or dollar makes a difference. It's easily done using the QR code on the screen or the links in the description to contribute. I'm Hans Beekhuizen. Thank you for watching, and whatever you do, enjoy the music.